Hello, this is Michelle Headley. I'm working on distance learning platforms and online learning for TEC 541. This presentation is for educators. Here we go. How do we follow best practices for our students as we work on distance learning and online learning? Let's start with the difference between the two. Distance learning has been around for over 200 years. That was new information for me. It began with letter writing with correspondence classes. People would write in, get information mailed back to them. It evolved from paper to radio. In the 50s, with the polio outbreak, students were learning through the radio and then through the television set. The computer was the next level for distance learning, as people used that device for communication, whether it was the beginning of emails and correspondence and pulling articles up on the internet. Distance learning is distinct from face to face learning. It can occur at any place or any time. The participants don't need to be in the same location or even working at the same time. However, the learner must adhere to the expectations set by that instructor, but can normally dictate their own timeline for when and where they take their information in and submit it out. One example of distance learning is if a university, say Rio Salado University, offers courses through a digital learning management system or LMS. The student and the instructor never actually meet or interact in real time, but the materials, communication, assignments, and assessments are all delivered through that LMS. And the instructor and the student both follow time restrictions and expectations, so the work is completed in a way that everyone agrees upon. The instructor provides materials assessments, but more importantly, timely feedback and support over the course duration. Now, online learning, on the other hand, became more readily available due to the expanse of the internet. As more people utilize the World Wide Web, it's more effective to communicate in real time. Online courses tend to have similar parts that are live, real time. The materials and assessments are all delivered in the same manner, possibly the instruction as well. But the addition of a live component is where it differs. One example of online learning is a school that might open an academy for online learning or an all online school, and all the content will be delivered virtually. The instructor and students log in to a live session, live class. Material is delivered in real time. Both parties are in the session together at the same time, but just not necessarily in the same location. The students have access to the teacher, and it's a cooperative relationship. Questions, celebrations, and feedback all happen in real time, but the student can also move into an independent format of work once the meat and potatoes of the instruction is complete. So there are definite pros and cons for distance learning. The pros, it's definitely flexible with the schedule. You can complete work at any time or place if need be. There's some benefits to those who have other responsibilities during traditional class times that might want to be outside those traditional hours. They can set their own pace to be faster or slower, and it's traditionally less expensive than a pay for model in person. Now, there are cons though. Younger students in the elementary schools might struggle to operate multiple tasks at once, or possibly with their time management might find challenging. Instructions may not be clear in a written format, and because response times are not live, the feedback can be a longer time, which can cause frustration or anxiety and possible isolation and lack of support. The learning theory that I found that models best for online learning is the constructivist theory. It's widely used for e learning and focuses on the learner perceptions and their own experiences to drive their motivation to continue learning through what they're interested in. Suggested platforms or LMS, I think this is a crucial point when you're talking about distance learning. You need to think about the platform that best suits the age group you're looking for and the level of commitment that the people who are working in it have. So the parameters need to be set if it's a K-12 system or something for a more adult based. So model one was Moodle. It's a great format. They offer free versions for up to 50 students. There's virtual pieces, materials, assessments. It's definitely easy to use, easy to begin. The support afterward can be questionable. Schoology is another model. The prices are based upon the level of package you want to buy. So, how many different bells and whistles you like through that model can definitely change. Um, but they offer a lot of their services, materials, and assessment options as well. Um, the Model 3, the Google Suite, um, the use of Google Suite with more specific applications is the best suggestion I have. Um, there's the Meets feature, which allows for live instruction. You can also record these sessions for students to review at a later time who are absent or need additional clarification. Our particular students are already familiar with the Google features of docs, slides, drawings, and classroom already, so that delivery system seemed ideal to continue with. In addition, using Nearpod as an application that can support that delivery system adds engagement, real time assessment. Any of the curriculum can be embedded into it that we already operate through. So, of course, when we implement any online or distance model, we want to have best practices, right? Same as in person, we want clear expectations for what the academic work needs to look like, what behavior should be happening during the online time or the live models. It should be explained very clear and then practiced regularly. All lessons should be labeled in a consistent method. If a student is moving from science to ELA to math throughout the day, if their learning system looks similar through all those different classes, it's going to provide that consistency that allows students to have less anxiety and more effective for them to move through. Same with live instruction times, and all instructions should have an engagement piece, maybe possibilities, time for student to student discussions, real time assessment, and independent work so that can be assessed later. All right. Thank you so much for your time. And that is my presentation.